But then you also have another group of people that when they do it, they come crashing down. They go hypoglycemic. And a lot of times I tell people, okay, try to grit through it for a little while, but it's also okay if fasting's not for you.
And with intermittent fasting, a lot of people have made it look like so long as you eat in a certain window, 8 hours, 1 hour of OMAD, that you can't gain weight. And I'm like, you can. It just depends on how many calories you're eating. So what do you say to these people? Can you actually eat what you want if you're intermittent fasting?
Well, I mean, you can eat what you want, but you still have to keep track of how much. Okay. I mean, I will say that the evidence is interesting with people that like during a fasting period, you have an increase in adrenaline, you have an increase in these catecholamines that amount to perhaps 100 or so calories extra burn in basal metabolic rate just from the stress of a fast. So you might get an extra 100 calories, but that's not what we're really talking about. People are really taking it, they're saying like, okay, yeah, as long as like all physics and math goes out the window, it's only about time. That's not the case. I mean, take it from me. I'm obviously a huge intermittent faster. I probably have, in terms of YouTube, most of my following is intermittent fasting related. I mean, I have a lot of keto, but fasting is really the big thing. And I've caught a lot of heat when I tell people not to fast every day. And this circles right back to this. And the reason is because people lose weight with intermittent fasting for 2 or 3 reasons. Okay, reason number 1, it puts them in a box. They have less amount of time to eat as much food, okay? 2, they develop a sense of control, of mastery. That's why I like to fast. When I'm not eating, I feel laser focused and I feel like I'm developing some control. I feel like with that control, it carries over into my eating window. Okay. And then number 3, a lot of times they end up feeling like it kind of piggybacks off of that. But because they're feeling good after their fast, a lot of times people don't want to necessarily eat garbage. They actually do make good decisions. And if you're consciously doing that, like when your stomach is like, you haven't been eating for 16 hours, believe it or not, like sometimes you're hungry and you want to eat a bunch of pizza, and some people are that way. But once you've been doing it for a while, you realize, like I actually want to get nourishment. But people run to the situation where, okay, yeah, you're condensing your eating window. So yes, you're probably eating less. Okay, you probably are but I mean, that's not to say that people don't. People absolutely do binge and go crazy, and that's a problem in and of itself. I'm guilty of that, which is why I have to exercise some control. But you find this pattern going. This is what happens. And I caution people with this. And I say this on my channel, and unfortunately it catches flack. But once you find yourself enjoying intermittent fasting, it's a slippery slope because you still end up finding yourself, I reduced down to 2,000 calories. Okay, then, well, that was great. Well, so I'm going to fast a little bit longer. So I'm going to fast for 18 hours. Okay, that's great. But then you're going to fast longer, 20. Then you start seeing people being like, I'm doing 72-hour fasts once a week. And then you start finding, then their weight loss stops. Then they start gaining weight. Well, why? Because just like anything, your body is adjusting. It's not a bad thing that your metabolism slows down. Your metabolism it is in terms of weight loss, but your metabolism is slowing down on purpose to try to protect you. If it notices that you're not eating a lot of food, then why on earth, from an evolutionary standpoint, would your body want to keep the metabolism revving super high? You'd break every tissue down. Your body's trying to save you. So it's trying to say, I'm going to slow things down so you don't waste away. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. So with intermittent fasting, you need to think of it completely aside from a weight loss strategy and think of it purely as a timing strategy. Okay, so in your eating window, like still track how much you're eating, still pay attention to that. Yes, could you have more flexibility? I don't know if you literally could have more flexibility, but you can have more flexibility because the chances are you're probably not going to overeat as much unless you have this completely reactive tendency. And which is why I'm like very critical about people are probably going to recite this because they hear me say it, right when you break a fast, protein, then wait an hour and then eat a little bit more relaxed. Why? Let the protein do its job, let it satiate you, let it chill your mind out so you're not running to the cake, because once that protein digests a little bit, then you'll realize, I can make a better conscious decision and not eat a bunch of garbage. Because it's a real thing. And if you look at the research with fasting, yes, it is awesome stuff. People really do have tremendous results with it. Calories, absolutely. But the fasting period itself, sure, there's a lot of benefits. Ketones form, there's a lot of benefits for the brain, there's a lot of benefits for focus. That's why I like it. I'm fasted right now, right? It's like I feel mentally clear. But then you also have another group of people that when they do it, they come crashing down. They go hypoglycemic. And a lot of times I tell people, okay, try to grit through it for a little while, but it's also okay if fasting's not for you. And one thing that I usually recommend if people, like when you just put yourself into a box, it always helps. Like any kind of structure of any sort does something in the brain where it helps you. That structure is all they need to open the floodgates to making better decisions.
As far as intermittent fasting goes, I've tried this a number of times and I've been not successful with it. And what always happens is I end up being so hungry when I do start eating. And once I start eating, I can't stop. And so what I had to do when I did do it, and this is probably good advice for people who have binge problems at all, is I always open up my eating with a massive salad. Big voluminous salad, because I'm eating that. So it's a chicken salad, eating that. And then I'm getting quite full because no matter what I eat, I'm going to be hungry later. So if I end my fast and start eating pizza, I could eat the entire pizza 2 hours later. I'm still hungry. So if I eat fiber, a lot of vegetables, what have you, it allows my stomach to feel that fullness and it's going to be hungry anyway. So it allows me to kind of slow down that digestion process on less calories, which allows me to have less overall calories in the end. Versus if I'm just eating high calorie dense foods, which to me could be like in keto, like, a higher fat diet, I'm going to get in so much peanut butter and nuts before I'm full that I'm going to eat too much. So to me, that's been helpful. And if it's not a salad, it could be like protein ice cream, like, massive voluminous food, lots of protein that's slower to digest and allows you to take a break from eating too quickly.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. And if you're doing a shorter fast, like a 14, 16 hour fast, then that's perfect. And it's like, as people start doing longer fasts, they need to be careful of how hard it is to digest something. So sometimes fiber right when they break a fast can be tough if they're doing like an 18, 20, 24 hour fast. So I usually say like have something easier to assimilate, even, some kind of like bone broth or like easy to digest protein first. And then your next meal is your fiber, just so that you're giving your gut a break. But like a shorter fast. Yeah, exact. And like same kind of thing. I tell people that are going out to eat, it's the same kind of thing. I'll be like, have a protein shake and a small salad before you go to a restaurant. If you're going to a restaurant with some friends and you're like, I don't want to fall victim to this, it's pretty simple. Like, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of like always pounding protein shakes, but I do keep a Ziploc bag of protein powder in my glove box for literally that reason. Because if I'm in a situation where I'm going to go to lunch with someone or an impromptu dinner, and I want to, and again, I have an addictive personality. I was super overweight before. Like one of the reasons I do what I do now is it keeps me honest, right? But yeah, I will have a protein shake with some water because I might not have milk with me, but I'll just add it to my water bottle, whatever. Then I feel like I'm sitting down, I'm not like ravenous, and I can make a better decision. I don't look at that menu and just say, Dad, give me it all. Like so same kind of thing with fasting. It's a lot of it is like a precautionary mechanism. Have the protein, have some fiber, something like that. Then an hour later, then let yourself be flexible. And I bet you $100, your flexible decision will be much better than the alternative flexible decision. So yeah.
Yeah, great tip. And I do 100% agree. I think it's a great strategy to consume something with less calories like your protein shake or salad or whatever before you actually go to your event where you might possibly binge. People need a secret. Well, give that a try.